Act 4, Scene 1, page number 119. Now Portia enters into the court of justice and Duke welcomes her and asks her that are you well aware with the nature of the dispute involved in the present case before the court? Then Portia replied that I am informed thoroughly of the cause, which is the merchant here and which is the Jew. So now here Portia says that I am informed thoroughly of the cause, that yes, I have been informed thoroughly of the cause, that is of the reason, that what is the dispute, what is the matter between the Jew and the merchant. So I am informed thoroughly. Which is the merchant here and which is the Jew? And then she asks that who is the merchant here and who is the Jew? Duke says Antonio and old Shylock both stand forth. So and Duke orders Antonio and Shylock to come and stand in front. Portia says, is your name Shylock? Then Portia asks one of the fellow that is your name Shylock? Then Shylock replied, Shylock is my name. Then Portia, of a strange nature is the suit you follow, yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. Then what Portia says to Shylock, of a strange nature is the suit you follow. That is, it's a very strange natured case that you are following. Suit is there, suit means case. That very strange natured case you are following, that you are asking for justice, you are asking for penalty, and the case which you have brought here in the court of justice, so that is very strange. Yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. And then what she says, yet in such rule, that is according to the law, that the Venetian law cannot impugn you. Impugn is given 185 number on the other side, that Venetian law cannot find fault with the case as you proceed, that is as you are demanding justice and the case which you have brought. So Venetian law cannot find any kind of fault in that. And then she says to Antonio, she asks that you stand within his danger, do you not? And then she asks Antonio that you stand with us in danger, that is you are in danger from him, from this man Shylock, you are in danger from him, so do you not? Then Antonio replied, hey, so he says that yes, I am in danger, as he says that the way he asks for justice, so surely I am in danger. Then Portia asked, do you confess the bond? That is, do you admit having made this agreement? Then Antonio replied, I do, that yes, I admit that. Portia said, then must the Jew be merciful? And then Portia says that if this Antonio is accepting his mistake, that yes, he agreed that he has signed this bond, so Jew must be merciful. Shylock replied, on what compulsion must I? Tell me that. And then Shylock got annoyed that once again this lawyer has come and she is asking that I should be merciful to Antonio. So he got annoyed, he got angry, and he said that on what compulsion must I? That is, why, what compulsion is there that I must be merciful to him? You tell me. Then Portia said, now see, this speech of Portia is very, very, very important, and many times it has asked in exam. Okay, many times it is asked in exam, so you have to listen it very carefully, understand it very nicely, line by line, word to word, everything. Portia says, the quality of mercy is not strained. It dropped as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throne monarch better than his crown. His sceptre shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty. Now, what Portia says in this speech, Portia says the quality of mercy is not strained. Strained means forced, compelled. So Portia says that quality of mercy cannot be compelled to anyone to show. Okay, that we cannot compel anyone, we cannot force anyone to show mercy on others. It drops as the gentle rain from heaven. That mercy is such a noble quality that it drops like a gentle rain from the heaven upon the place beneath, that is, at any place. It is twice blessed, that the quality of mercy is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. That quality of mercy is twice blessed. It blesses to the person who shows mercy, and it blesses to the person one who receives mercy from someone. Then she says, "'Tis mightiest in the mightiest," that this quality of mercy is mightiest in the mightiest. Very important. 196 number. You can see other side. What is the meaning? Two meanings are there of this. First one, most powerful in the men with most power. Okay, now about what we are talking about quality of mercy. So here, that quality of mercy is mightiest in mightiest. That quality of mercy is most powerful in the men with most power. Or another meaning we can say that the quality of mercy is most powerful weapon that most powerful men have. Okay, so here what is said to this quality of mercy? That quality of mercy is most powerful weapon that most powerful men have with them, and it becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. And then she says that it becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. Now she talks that if king has this quality of mercy in himself, okay, that if king has quality of mercy in him, so the quality of mercy is considered even greater than, even powerful than his crown as well. Okay, so his scepter shows the force of temporal power. And then she says that his scepter means that is a rod, a sword, we can say. 198 number, it is given other side, that scepter, a rod which a king holds in his hand, and that symbolizes his royal power. Okay, so what she says about mercy, that it is the nobler quality in a royal merchant than the crown which he wears, and his scepter shows the force of temporal power. That his scepter, his rod which a king holds in his hand, that symbolizes royal power. So even this quality of mercy is greater, or is thought to be much more powerful than rod also. Then the attribute to awe and majesty, that is this scepter, which is considered as one of the characteristics of his grandeur and power. So quality of mercy is even powerful than that as well. Now after this, wherein does sit the dread and fear of king, that is this scepter which they hold with them, that symbolizes his power and grandeur. And by looking at this scepter, others get fearful, others get frightened. But mercy is above this sceptered sway. But mercy is even above this sceptered sway, that is this scepter which they use to fight with the others, with which they rule on others, they show their power to others. So this quality of mercy is even above this. Okay, quality of mercy is even powerful than this scepter which kings have with them. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. And then what is said, that it is enthroned. What is enthroned? That quality of mercy is enthroned. Enthroned meaning, you can see at the side, it is given point number 202, that it is quality of mercy is deep seated in the hearts of kings. Okay, it is an attribute to God himself. And then she says that it is an attribute means characteristics, that this quality of mercy is also the characteristics of God also. Okay, that God also has this quality of mercy, that he also has quality of mercy in him. And earthly power that then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Very important line, 204 to 205. So he says, and earthly power does then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Now here she says that the earthly power, now who is this earthly power? That means kings. Okay, kings are here referred as earthly power, that kings also show like God, that is kings also behave like God when they have to take justice, when they have to moderate justice. So at first they prefer to show mercy. Okay, now suppose when we pray to God every day, so in our prayer what do we say to God, what do we ask to God? So we ask God to be merciful on us and to pardon uh, all our mistakes or fault or anything bad if we have done, isn't it? And God shows mercy on us. So same way here, it's Portia says that the earthly power, that is kings, when they have to take the justice, then when they have to take any kind of decision, when they have to take justice, give justice to anyone, so what do? That is, they at first prefer to show mercy. They do not give any kind of punishment to others. Then after this she says, therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this. And then Portia says to Shylock, therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea. Now, plea is given there, 206 number, that demand as per legal terms. So, here she says that therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, that is, though you are asking for justice as per the legal terms, okay, as it is mentioned on the bond. So, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. And then she says, you consider this, that is, you have this in mind, Shylock, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. That is, in the course of salvation, here you can see 207 to 208, very important, that if we were to be judged according to the strict justice of God, none of us would be saved. Okay, now what she says here to Shylock, that you consider this, you note this, you remember this, Shylock, that in the course of justice, that is, if we will be judged, if we were to be judged according to the strict justice of God, that none of us would be saved. Then, and that same prayer does teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. And then she says that, and the same prayer, that is the same prayer that we say to God, so that only teaches us to show mercy on others. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea. And then Portia says to Shylock that I have spoken much in order to mitigate the justice of thy plea. Mitigate means soften, that is, in order to change your mind, in order to soften the justice of thy plea, that is, in often to soften the justice as per the legal terms as you are asking. So I have spoken much, which if thou follow, and if you still follow it, that is, if you will still be there asking for the penalty as per the legal terms, so this strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there, that if you are still not ready to show mercy on Antonio, then this strict court of Venice must give sentence, that is, they need to give sentence against this merchant Antonio. Then Shylock said, my deeds upon my head, I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond. Now, Shylock, he said that my deeds upon my head, 214 number, other side you can see that I will take the responsibility for what I am doing. Okay, Antonio says, Shylock says there in the quote that I will take the responsibility for what I am doing. That is, I am not going to show mercy on Antonio. So the penalty and forfeit, I crave the law. So he says that I crave means ask for, that I ask to the law the penalty and forfeit of my bond. Then the penalty and non-payment of my bond, so I ask the law. 215 number also you can see other side, the penalty allowed by the law which has become due because of the breach of agreement. Then Portia says, if he not able to discharge the money. So Portia is asking there that is he not able to discharge the money, is he not able to pay the money. Then Bassanio, who was standing there, he said immediately, yes, here I tender it for him in the court, yet twice the sum. Then Bassanio said that yes, he is able to pay money and here I tender it for him. That is, here I am ready to give on his behalf in the court, and yes, twice the sum, that I am ready to give him 6,000 ducats. If that will not suffice, and if that is also not sufficient, suffice is there, that means sufficient, that if that is also not sufficient to this Jew, I will be bound to pay it 10 times over. If that is also not sufficient, then I will be bound to pay 10 times of the borrowed sum. On forfeit of my hands, my head, and my heart. And then he says that on forfeit of my hand, that is, if I do not pay as I have said that 10 times over, then I pay, I am ready to risk my life, my hands, my head, my heart, that is my life. If this will not suffice, that is, and if this is also not going to satisfy, if this is also not sufficient to this Jew, then it must appear that malice bears down truth. And then Bassanio says that if that is also not sufficient for this Jew, then it must appear that malice bears down truth. Now malice means cruelty or evil. Evil bears down truth, that evil has curbed the truth. And I beseech you. And then Bassanio says, and I urge you, rest once the law to your authority, to do a great right, do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will. Now what he says here, and I urge the law, rest once the law, rest once, 223 number you can see other side, that twist, that just bring twist in this one occasion. So what Bassanio says to Portia, that is, I request here to just bring one change, I request here to bring one twist in this one occasion, that is only for this moment, only for this case, I request you to bring one change in the law, bring one twist in the law, to do a great right, do a little wrong. That is, in order to do a great right. Now what is there to do a great right? That is to save someone's life. Okay, so he says that to do a great right, a great act of justice, to commit this slight irregularity, that I want you to do little change, little mistake, that is to bring a change in law, and curb this cruel devil of his will. And you curb him, that is, you strain, you stop this cruel devil of his will, that is, from demanding the fulfillment of his desire, that as he is here to demand a pound of flesh from someone's body, and in giving that, the person will die. So I request the law to bring a little change in the law only in this occasion, so that you can stop this cruel devil to have his desire fulfilled. Then after this, Portia says, it must not be, there is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. It will be recorded for a precedent and many an error by the same example will rush into the state it cannot be. Then what Portia immediately said, that it must not be, that is, no, it must not be done at all. What must not be done? That their law should not be changed uh, at any cost. There is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. Now decree established means, decree means law, that the law which has been established, okay, there is no power in Venice who can change the law which has been already established. It will be recorded for a precedent. And then she says that if we did so, okay, that is, if we do so also here, if we bring the change in the law, then that will be recorded as an example. Okay, precedent meaning is given at the side 228 number, that is, it will be recorded as an example, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. And many an error, that is, many such kind of fault or mistake by the same example will rush into the state. That what will happen, that if we do so, then then what will happen, that many people will do the mistake and they will refer to the same example of changing the law, and it will destroy the peace in the state. Okay, so it cannot be done, that is, no, law cannot be changed. Then Shylock, he was listening, so he was so happy. So he said, Daniel, come to judgment. Yeah, Daniel, O wise young judge, how I do honor thee. Then Shylock was very happy, and then he said, Daniel, come to judgment. Oh, yeah, Daniel, oh wise young judge, that how do I respect you, how do I honor you. Now you can see who is Daniel on the other side, point number 231. So here, Daniel, a great Jewish character in the Bible who was known for the wisdom and judgment. Okay, who is Daniel? Daniel was a great Jewish character in the Bible who was known for his wisdom and judgment. So here, Shylock was praising Portia by calling her Daniel. Then Portia said, I pray you, let me look upon the bond. Then Portia said, I request you, let me look into the bond. Then Shylock, here it is, most reverend doctor, here it is. Then Shylock happily gave that bond which was signed between him and Antonio to Portia. Portia said, Shylock, there is thrice the money offered thee. Then Portia said to Shylock that Shylock, they are ready to pay you 3 times of the borrowed sum. Shylock, an oath, I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? No, not for Venice. Then what Shylock said, that is an oath, I have an oath in heaven. So he says that I have taken oath in the sight of God. Okay, so shall I lay perjury upon my soul? That is, shall I take this sin of breaking the oath? No, not for Venice. Then Portia says, why, this bond is forfeit, and lawfully by this the Jew may claim a pound of flesh. Then what Portia said, that why means well here. Well, this bond is forfeit. After reading the bond, she said, well, this bond is now forfeited. Okay, that is, forfeit means that the penalty as the penalty mentioned in this bond has been incurred. That is, this agreement has been broken. The time period that is mentioned in the bond is over. Okay, so she said, well, this bond is forfeit. That is, the penalty, the time period is over, and this agreement has been broken now. So, and lawfully by this, and according to the law, the Jew may claim a pound of flesh. That is, now he can ask for a pound of flesh from merchant's body, and to be by him cut off nearest the merchant's heart. and as it is mentioned, so a pound of flesh he can cut from the merchant's heart, that near to merchant's heart. Be merciful. And then Portia once again says to Shylock that, be merciful, Jew, take thrice thy money, bid me tear the bond. That is, you allow me to tear the bond. Now, Shylock, when it is paid according to the tenure, it does appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law. Your exposition has been most sound. I charge you by the law. Then Shylock said that when it is paid according to the tenor, that yes, I will ask you to tear this bond once it is paid according to the terms and conditions as it is mentioned. Then it does appear you are a worthy judge. Then Shylock said to Portia that it appeared to me that you are a very worthy judge. You know the law, that is, you know the law very well, and your exposition has been most sound. Exposition means understanding of the case. 246 number, it is given at the side that your exposition, that your understanding of the case is most sound, that you understand the case in a very sound manner. I charge you by the law. And then he says that I charge you by the law, whereof you are a well deserving pillar. That is, I charge you by the law, that I ask you by the law, where you are a well deserving pillar, where you are well deserving support, proceed to judgment. By my soul I swear, there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. And then he said that proceed to judgment, that is, you give judgment, and by my soul I swear that there is no power in the tongue of man, that there is no person in whole Venice, or there is no person at all who can change my decision, that I will not show mercy on Antonio, I will not take thrice the sum also, I want only the penalty as per the legal terms mentioned in the bond. So I stay here on my bond, that is, I stay here, that I still insist on my bond. Okay, we stop here and we'll continue after this from line number 252, Antonio's speech.